Live from Austin, Texas, it's the internet's favorite advice show.
Answering for a friend.
Now, here's your hosts, Clint Baker and Mia Harms.
Hi.
Hey, what's happening, gang?
I'm back.
Welcome to episode 17 of Answering for a Friend.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of episodes.
It is a lot of episodes. I'm so excited to be here because I wasn't here last week.
I know, we've completely missed you.
I watched it. I watched the show. It was good. It was a little different.
It was a little different. We had somebody on location at their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but I'm super glad to have you back. Let's get a round of applause for Mia. Yeah, yes, woo, and an air horn.
Always with the air horn.
I know, that's my good time.
We're gonna play that at your funeral.
Yeah, beep or a burp. We got in the chat here. We got Elizabeth Ann is in the house.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Elizabeth. Guys, before we get started, like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, let your friends know about the show. That's how we grow. That rhymes. And let's jump into it. Okay. I've got some long ones.
Oh.
And where I have like only the beginning of the question on the screen, and the rest I'm going to dig into my phone and read them because context. Okay. Remember that thing, context, that we always talk about?
We definitely need context.
So, all right. Some of them are fun questions. Some of them are serious questions. So here we go. Let's see what we got.
All right.
What is something that you should never be afraid of? Answering. Yeah. Asking for a friend.
I love this question so much. I literally had this conversation with my 9-year-old the other day. I have zero tolerance for people that have adults who have a fear of needles. I cannot stand it when an adult has a fear of like getting a shot or having their blood drawn. It's really not that painful. And I don't understand the fear. Sometimes these are people that are fully tattooed. And I'm like, you realize that's multiple needles. But I don't get it. I don't understand it. And if you're going to become an adult, if that's on your agenda, maybe you should really get over that. And maybe I'm a healthcare professional. So for me, I'm like, well, all right, needles save lives. But I don't know. You really shouldn't be afraid of them. I get being like, oh, I don't really like pain. That makes sense. But being afraid of needles, where did you go, Clint?
I'm here. I just needed to, we got to swap here. I just needed to, really quickly, my dog just walked in to my room and just like Kool-Aid Man through the door, was just like, just busted in. And I was like, yeah, Chloe, you can't just do that. So I left her in here, but
how do you feel about a grown adult men with a fear of needles?
I'm a guy with tattoos and I don't like needles. I used to get no, I'm not petrified of needles. But what I'll do is look away. I'd rather not see it. I used to get allergy shots as a child weekly. I remember getting my DPT shot that was like this big, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't like them, but it's mainly when they draw blood, when they stick the needle into my vein, or when you get your COVID vaccine. I'm like, okay, I just don't want to look. I just don't look.
That COVID vaccine was the tiniest gauge needle. I didn't feel it both times at all. I felt zero anything. I was like shocked that it was so smooth.
Was yours Pfizer or Moderna?
I did the Moderna.
Yours is supposed to be a larger needle because they have to inject the nanobots into your bloodstream.
Yeah. My reception has been really good on my cell phone lately.
Yeah. I was like, Pfizer is supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
That was definitely a weird injection. It was like, oh, weird sensation, but it wasn't that bad. Anybody who's
is it a fear of the needle or a fear of what it's doing or representing, or is it pain? Because I think people are like, I'm afraid of needles, and I'm like, Oh goodness
I-
gracious! You know how
It's
many times I've given blood? It does. You don't feel. It's very tiny amount. Stubbing
for,
your toe hurts worse.
for me, it just gives me the willies. Like it gives me the oohs, and
It
I don't
does
want.
what to your willy?
Yeah, it does that, and I don't
I
want.
think that's a fetish and not a fear, Clint.
Perhaps, but it's not a thing I want to do while they're injecting me. Like
Well,
I feel like I don't need to be jerking around or moving, so I don't
nobody
look.
loves having things with needles done to them, but I'm just saying, like,
For me, it's
it,
a reflexive thing to like move or like I don't want to see the needle going into my arm. It doesn't bother
yeah.
me. Tattoos don't bother me, but
I love watching it. When they draw my blood, I like to watch like the viscosity of it because depending on like your iron level, just are different things going on. Like sometimes, it's like very watery and it just kind of spurts, and then sometimes it's thick and it goes in goopy, and it just really makes me really does something good to my day. I think when I have to do blood work, it's a good day for me.
it's
Um,
it's also a it's also kind of a it's kind of like a vulnerable spot, like that part of my arm,
yeah,
getting an injection on the outside on my shoulder,
yeah,
or like on the butt cheek or something, that doesn't bother me
yeah,
quite as much as like if they were gonna like draw blood from my neck. That's like a sensitive,
yeah.
like or right in
That
there
would
where
be,
like that's too much of a vulnerable spot for me.
yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, and they always place like in the hospital, where they place the IV kind of standard
Yeah,
is it's such an uncomfortable spot right here in your ooh, the camera's that way in
yeah.
your elbow. So if you can always request to be like, hey, can I get it somewhere else? So that way you're a little more comfortable while laying there in the hospital.
Yeah. Uh, can I just not get the shot? That's what I think. Also, like dental stuff when they do like a dental shot and they got this
Yeah,
long looking needle. It's because
never
they
had
got to
that
get
done.
yeah. It's like anytime I've like get that, I definitely close my eyes. I'm like, just don't let me see the needle and I'm good. And then I
Yeah.
feel the pain. The pain. I've gotten a root canal before where the needle hurt more than the actual rest of the stuff. The needles in a
Well,
dentist office
because you're
sucks.
numb. That's
Yeah,
why the needle hurts the most,
I
because
guess I
you're
guess
actually
so.
not numb. Does anyone want a quick science lesson?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is one of my favorite things about, okay, so lidocaine is called a sodium channel blocker, right? So it doesn't actually make you numb at all. What it does is your cells, your neurons, they carry a charge. They have a resting charge, and they have all these little receptor sites on them. So when there's a stimulus, any stimulus at all, like touch or pain or vibration, anything, right? If it is enough to have the sodium rush into the cell, it'll depolarize the cell from, I believe it's negative 90 millivolts to negative 55 millivolts, and then it'll fire an action potential across the neuron. So that's the only time pain comes into your consciousness, is when, or touch, any form of touch comes into your consciousness, is when it fires an action potential. Okay,
Hmm.
so when you get a lidocaine shot or Novocaine or whatever they use, it blocks those sodium channels. So the cell cannot depolarize and it can't fire an action potential. So you don't actually go numb at all. The pain never gets into your consciousness. It's so freaking crazy.
Dumb it down as far as the definition of action potential. What is it?
So basically, that is the signal that gets sent across your neurons,
Okay,
right? Yeah. So, and that is when it enters your consciousness. There's a lot of stimulus that happen to us all day long that doesn't depolarize the cell, doesn't make it fire an action potential, but we would never know because you only know when you experience it. Oh, mind blown.
weird. So does alcohol, like if you drink enough, does it block action potentials?
I don't know alcohol's effects on the sodium channels. I would probably say that it has an effect on all your cells,
It
but I haven't like read any scientific papers on that specifically.
or it just dumbs down your brain. That's
It
another one.
does that too. It actually it has a lot on. Is it the hypothalamus? I can't quite remember all my brain anatomy, but there is one part of your brain that it specifically screws with pretty hard, which is
Huh.
why you get dizzy and stuff like that. But
Cool.
we are not addressing that question because the question is fears
What is
that we
something?
shouldn't have.
Yeah. Look.
Sorry, you guys.
Back to that.
I just
Something
get
that you should never be
excited.
afraid of. And your answer is needles, right? That's what you should
My
never be
answer
afraid of?
is needles.
Okay. Mine is you should never be afraid of growing up.
Oh, that's so deep.
Uh-huh. Because uh I think it's fair to be afraid of getting old, of running out of time if you start looking at
Yeah.
that, but getting older, you gain wisdom and experience, and you can guide your path a little better because you're more informed. So that's going to be
Mhm.
my answer for that one.
I
So,
like that. That's
yeah,
really great.
thanks. Well, let's move on to another one. I think we
Have
can
What if I just did like science lessons for every
all
question?
day long.
I'm like, that's a cool question, Clint, but let me tell you about how the kidneys work.
We used to have. Do you remember Danielle? Um, uh,
Mhm.
my friend Danielle, we used to call her Dr. Science. She's pretty sciency too,
Yeah.
and it was fun on the Black Shirt podcast. We would have her come in and give a scientific segment, and it was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
lots of
that.
fun. All right, the next one is my fiance is out of shape and has heart disease, and I told him that I wouldn't marry him unless he starts taking his health seriously. Am I out of line asking for a friend?
Ooh. Whoa.
What do you think?
I
Uh,
would say that ultimatums really suck and
mhm.
that I don't agree with them, but I do get where this person's coming from. I mean, your partner's health is in serious risk and you're marrying them and clearly haven't taken $1 million life insurance policy out on them yet. I'm just kidding.
That
Just
was
kidding.
that's what I was asking. I was like, "Wait, do you have
Yeah.
insurance? Are you
No, no,
is
no,
he
no. That's
rich?
mean.
Is he rich?" Um,
That's messed up. But yeah, I understand the fear of being with someone who has a clear illness that could, potentially, they could drop dead and
it,
you're left alone. But
and when
I
she
don't,
met him, he was in better health, and he just kind of let himself go. And now, she's just like, "Wow, on this track," and he doesn't seem to want to let up. And
yeah,
I don't want to be single at 50 and lose this guy. So I don't know as much as she's like really gonna wants to leave him, or just trying to scare him into getting
yeah.
better. But yeah, I mean, that's a crazy one.
We have a comment. We have a good comment.
Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Because how many times? Oh, that's the
Did
wrong
you
one.
say yes to marrying them when you knew they had these issues? Well, you kind of just answered that. Well, I don't know when the proposal happened. They
Let's
could
see.
could have already known.
So sorry if I get a lot of wind. Blah, 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 blah. My
Ba
fiance
ba ba
was
ba ba ba.
he ate. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much communication they've had about it or how,
Uh,
this person feels. It could be a lot of mental health stuff in there too. Like,
and
I don't
honestly,
think that ultimatums are the way to get people to change or do it seems very like do this thing for me or else. And that is not a good way to enter a marriage. But
agreed.
I do understand being like, I'm worried about marrying you if you're just gonna continue to get sicker or not take care of yourself. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, are you gonna have a kid, and then you have an unhealthy dad who dies young, or you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna go past the point of no return, and then I'm gonna be taking care of you. And then there's also the
Yeah.
thing of like, hey, I found you attractive, but now you're all sloppy and gross. Even though I love your personality, that might be a factor that she's not putting. I didn't even read the whole letter, so that might even be a factor. If she's a selfish person. Um, like there's a lot of things. And did you say yes to marrying them when you knew they had these issues? No, they were healthy when she started dating the person. Now I don't know if they started getting out of shape and then he proposed and then he's like, I better lock this one down. I'm getting out of shape. I'm not.
That was his
Yeah.
incentive. He wasn't gonna propose otherwise, but he started
but
getting sick and
yeah, but
overweight and was just like,
But if in case Elizabeth was trying to say, well, if you agreed to it before, does you got to stick by your guns? You don't have to stick by your guns. If something's changing and it's not
Yeah.
something you're okay with, you can do whatever you want. And
Open and honest
yeah,
communication.
you just got to
That's
be
the theme of our show.
you got to be up to date with how you're feeling and whatnot. And that's what she needs to do. She needs to say, hey,
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you hostage or like threaten you, but I also don't want this. So like, what can you do and what can I do to make this work? And
Yeah, for reals.
every day we'll reassess our love and the situation, and we'll plan the next day out.
I
That's the way to
freaking
do
hope they get married though, because not that I know him personally, but like I just haven't been to a wedding in so
it.
long. I want to go to a freaking wedding. I want
Weddings
to go to the wedding. I want to be there. I want to party. I want to, I don't know, hook up with someone in the bathroom.
weddings are fun. We need to
Yeah.
go to a wedding.
You know anyone getting married?
Just these two.
Please, if you do, I want to be your plus one. Can I be your plus one?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to a wedding.
Yes.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
Let's answer another question.
I don't want to. Just kidding.
What was your first job? What were your responsibilities? Asking for a friend, Mia.
Oh, this is a
Yeah.
sweet question.
What were they?
Well, my first job was mixing the cocktails for my dad. I'm just kidding. That is very. I have really good parents. That's
And
not
lighting his cigarettes.
lighting his cigarettes. He paid me $1 a smoke. No,
He paid you in smokes.
need to pay me in smokes.
I was 7.
Totally inaccurate. No, I have good parents. My first job was at a Thai food restaurant,
Cool.
and it was called Sawadi, and they would threaten us on a daily basis. There was a big sign in the kitchen that said, let me see if I can remember this. Work times and punctuation, or do we want to put everyone on payroll? That's what the sign said. Basically, it was saying like, get here on time or we'll put you on payroll. Which at that time, minimum wage was $5.15 and I made $5 an hour.
Ah.
So 15 more cents an hour if I had started being late. It was really I wasn't really a server, but I was. I don't know. It was very strange. Like the owners didn't want me to take the orders. I thought maybe they thought I would take them wrong. So, but I would like bring the food and clean and serve them, like refill their drinks and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. I was like a medium level
You were like
server.
like a waiter at like Golden Corral or Luby's. They don't really do
It-
much. They just kind of
yeah,
show up and make sure you got all your stuff. Do you need a straw, sir?
exactly. But they would send me home with so much food at the end of the night. Every freaking shift I got fed, and it was enough to like feed my friends. It was walking distance to my then teenage boyfriend's house. So after we would just go, I would show up with all this Thai food and we would just smoke a fat blunt and eat Thai food.
That sounds awesome.
That was my first job.
Mine was the go round. I worked at the go round. Then it became the merry go round. It was at the mall, and they sold like jabots and Z Cavaricis and like leather jackets
Ooh,
that were like colorful leather jackets that would have like Yosemite Sam or like Daffy Duck on the back of them. They were terrible.
that's funny.
And like Stussy and Massimo and shirts back in the day when the first time
Oh
they were
yeah,
around, like
yeah.
way back. I'm aging myself on that one, but yeah, it was some crazy. And I would just fold shirts. I learned how to fold shirts at that place, and yeah, that job sucked.
You know where I learned how to fold shirts?
Where?
At my second job, which was actually more of an official job, which was, I don't know if you guys could guess this or not, but it was Hot Topic.
Yes.
That was my first like on payroll job.
Did
And yeah, I would fold those t-shirts on that t-shirt wall.
Did you fold any Ritalin Kids shirts? Because we had a shirt in Hot Topic.
I did fold Ritalin kid shirts. I knew who you were before I met you, Clint Baker.
Oh, all right. Now I'm
Ooh.
feeling important. All right, time to move to the next one.
We played your CD
Yep.
a lot, actually.
We were in the listening station, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days. Cha-ching. I still get a quarter every time that song's played. Not really. What is something an adult told you you'll understand when you're older that you now understand because you're older? Asking for a friend. These are a lot of like interview questions.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have one.
I've got one. My dad told me that he said the guys are complete dumbasses until they're 30. He's like, most guys can't even quote wipe their ass until they're 35 years old. But he's like, but he
Yeah.
said, watch, you're gonna remember some of the things you said in your 20s after you're 30, and you're gonna realize, you're gonna look back, and it's almost embarrassing. And he was absolutely right. I can remember some of the things I said, did, and all that. And it's funny because young men have a real egos and real, like, and think they know a lot. And it's really amusing to see like a cocky young man
Yeah.
as a cocky old man. It's funny to see that because I remember a lot of that, and it's cool. I've said it before. It's cool because uh, the ego and the young cockiness enables you to accomplish a lot of things that you're too stupid to know that you can't do. So you actually achieve a lot because you're not scared to do things. But
Yeah.
but it's pretty funny. It's just funny looking
Well,
back.
that's like the dating world, right? That's what we figure out. I'm 30. I wouldn't even consider dating a 30-year-old man. Not even anywhere close. We're talking like 35 plus. That's low. And I felt like that way for quite a while. But yeah, I mean, gosh, that I was 29 last year. A 29-year-old boy. No, not gonna happen. Sorry, guys.
You're 29?
I'm not. I'm 30. But when I was 29, what I'm saying is like a year ago, the thought of me dating someone else 29 is
It's crazy talk.
yeah. I don't think that I had anything that I can remember that it's like you'll understand when you're older. You'll understand when you're older.
You'll get it. You'll get it when you're older.
Yeah, I don't like when
You'll get
people
it.
like say that.
It's a little condescending. You'll understand when you're a mom.
I
You didn't
have
get one
heard
of
when
those?
you're a mom.
Yeah, that's me. That works. That means you're older.
Yeah, that one's true. I gave my mom a card this year for Mother's Day that was just like, oh, I get it now.
All right, well, let's jump to the next one. My ex-wife wants me a year after we split. Help! Asking for a friend. Okay, let's see here.
Ooh. Wants you.
Yeah, it's
Don't you want me, baby?
where is it? Oh, there.
Don't
No.
you want me? Oh.
Here it is. It's hold on.
Context?
Context. I pulled a sneaky because my dog wanted to go outside again, so I let her out. All right, relationship.
But then you told us about it, so it wasn't sneaky
So it wasn't
at all.
very sneaky, was it? Let's see. My wife wants me a year after we split. Relationship ended with my wife of 15 years last summer. After several years of drifting apart, the passion and intimacy went, and we were just roommates for the last few years in a dead bedroom situation. She pulled the trigger, and I initially wanted to save it, but she was adamant, and it was frankly a relief to be able to let go after years of trying to fix things and hoping they'd get better. Am I being dramatic enough with this?
I like the drama.
She never tried, stuck to her guns, and refused counseling. She told me over and over again, it's meant to be easy. It shouldn't be hard work.
Oof.
I stayed in the house in a spare room for 5 or 6 months while I got myself together. I now live close by in our small town and have 50-50 access to our kids, 9 and 11. I thought we were moving on and we're going to have a positive relationship for the sake of the kids. But a few months ago, she found out I was dating again and has been a horror show ever since. She has obsessed over the girl I was seeing, suggested I was cheating with her before we split. Not true. She's been out of shape, that I was ready to date again, and she's not. and is just hurting herself over and over, obsessing over it. The other night, she called me in tears and confessed she loved me and that she thought we would just get back together. She said, like in the films, if it's meant to be, okay. Uh, if she had said this a year ago, I'd be thrilled, but she has made herself and me miserable for the past year. What do I do? Asking for a friend.
Wow.
That's intense. So it was her idea. Then he moved on, and then he started
Yeah.
dating, and then she couldn't handle it, and now she wants him back.
Well, you cannot advise somebody what to do in this situation. But I will say that both of these people need to be in therapy individually if they're not already. And, if he still loves her and would want to explore what it would be like to get back together, it's like, what is going to change? Are we going to go to therapy together? What is going to change? What new boundaries? What, give and take? But I feel like she doesn't actually want him back. She's just jealous because he has something that they never could achieve. And that's a lot of time to not be intimate, to not be together or happy. And I think she needs to do some healing.
Yeah.
And until you heal completely, I feel like the question of even getting back together can't be there, because this is not coming out of a happy, kind, I love you, I miss you, let's get our family get back together place. This is coming out of a jealousy. He has what I don't place, or what does she have that I don't place? And that's not a healthy place to rekindle a relationship. And they're your ex for a reason.
Yep. I
And, that's heavy, but if you're happy in your current relationship, I would stick to the current relationship.
I agree with you completely. That's a crazy one, man. And it's tough because you've got years and years of baggage attached. But if it was like, I wouldn't run from it just because you got a year of misery. Sometimes that's a learning experience to find out how much love
Yeah.
is worth to you. You know what I mean? But um, I feel like this is exactly what you said, Mia. I feel like this is her reacting to him. It's like she doesn't want to see him win. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, exactly.
and like she doesn't have that yet, and so she would rather just get back to what's familiar than let him go on and be happy because she's not, and or she's scared that she will never have that, and he's going to
Yeah.
move on, and she's going to be all alone. That's a definitely, I would definitely encourage both of them to go to therapy and with a non-biased, party there to help
Yeah.
them dig deep and figure out exactly what they really do want. Because he might
Yeah.
really love her still, but he's still hurt and scarred from all the grief that he's and trauma that he's dealt with in the last
Yeah.
while, and she might not really love him, or maybe she does. They need to really dig deep and make sure they're not doing some kind of weird reaction.
And
Uh,
yeah, are they happy individually?
yeah,
I don't feel like you can get back in a relationship with someone if you are still hurting or in pain, if you haven't found a way to be happy separately from them. Because I bet that if she is happy, right? I bet that if she, even if it doesn't mean dating or having
right.
another partner in her life, just happy in general in her life, just walking around going, things are good. I like myself. I'm working on myself. That maybe she probably wouldn't want him back. It's coming out of she's having bad feelings, and it's not genuine. I don't think it's genuine.
I wonder if any of this is coming out of COVID. I predicted before COVID. I told my buddy, I was like, dude, there's going to be a lot of babies and a lot of divorces from this
Yeah,
lockdown, and I've been right.
exactly.
I have friends that are realtors that have told me that like, dude, I've got a lot of clients that are like splitting up and selling their houses or
Yeah,
looking for new stuff. And I've got a lot of friends too that had babies, and so it's really crazy. Um, I think it's funny to I think it's funny too, like home improvement, swimming pools, painters, furniture people. I talk to all those people, appliance people. They've had the busiest years they've had in years. They are
Oh,
not
yeah.
because people are at home and they have nothing better to do than to get bored. And so they look around their house and they're like, "Oh, I need to paint the walls." Before they were off at work
Yep.
and they don't even notice, "Oh, I need a swimming pool. I need all this stuff. Oh, I'm bored with my husband. I need to trade him in. Or I'm bored with my wife. I need to trade her in." I think a lot of
Trade.
yeah.
Ooh,
I'm just being silly, but I'm just saying I think a lot of these problems are like from being around each other when you need the buffer of work, and it's weird.
yeah.
It's a crazy time. There's another interesting thing. I had a conversation with a friend whose husband traveled a lot, um, constantly flying to DC, like every week, every other week, and he works in the government and stuff. And the daughter wrote a paper about developing a relationship with her dad because she's never had her dad around. Like she
Oh.
on every weekend he would leave town, and so she'd see him a little bit
Ooh.
during the week, but she's got to go to bed to go to school. You know what I mean? And
How
so
old was she?
I think this was like an essay to get into college and stuff,
Oh,
so but
wow.
I mean, this guy's been doing this for a decade. So her whole life, basically, her whole you know since she was in her teens, he's been gone and doing. I mean, she sees dad, but
Yeah.
he's gone half the time. So it's interesting that during COVID, she got to develop a tighter relationship with her dad because he was always gone. I thought that was it. I was like, well, at least something good came out of that besides to go alcoholic drinks, something
I
else.
For me, it's curbside, man. That
Yeah,
is
curbside.
I do not wanna get out of my car. You know what's funny, though, when I'm sitting wait, hang on, first of all, yes, I agree with what you said about the question, and I think that's amazing that she was able to have that relationship with her dad. And what I'm gonna say about curbside. Okay, please, I hope that it stays. But also, I will be sitting there in curbside waiting for someone to bring out my food, and I'm watching people literally go in and pick up their food. Like they're just walking in and grabbing it off. Usually, it's on a shelf now
Oh
to
yeah.
go food. Most places have put in some sort of like, just come in and grab it. You don't need to talk to us.
You're
There'll be
talking.
like 5, 6 people that'll walk in and grab their food, and I'm just still sitting in my car waiting for someone to bring it out to me. What is wrong with me? Can
I
I
mean,
not walk 20 steps inside to grab it? No, I'm gonna sit in my car and you're gonna bring it out to me, Linda.
half of those guys might be Uber Eats people going in to get they're dressed in normal clothes, but they're going in to grab
But
stuff.
I'm just saying, what I'm saying is it's taken lazy to a whole new level. If I look at a restaurant and we're gonna order from it and they don't have curbside, I sometimes just find something else that has the curbside.
That's hilarious. I'm
Yep,
surprised you just don't get it all delivered.
I do that as well, but that takes a lot longer.
It does take longer.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump to another question.
Whoop, whoop.
Where are we time at? Okay.
Our comments are a little sleepy today. What's going on,
Yeah,
guys?
our viewer count is kind of sleepy too. What the heck?
Dang, they didn't know I was back.
They didn't. They thought Dustin ran off all of our people. What the hell?
Dustin, Dustin, Dustin.
What do you think will wipe out the human race? Short answers, because we got more questions. But what do you think it'll be?
Don't you tell me how long to make
I'm
my
not telling you
answer.
not to
I'm
rant.
gonna
I'm just
make
saying.
I'm gonna do what
I was
I want.
talking about me, my Clint. I was saying Clint.
You're
Short
like,
answers.
never mind. Well, global warming, disease, um, you know, I don't know.
Tess says man-made diseases,
Yeah, for real.
and Elizabeth says, Tess and I are here. That's right, because
Yeah, you are.
y'all are awesome.
Hey, girl. Hey, yeah, it's just gonna be the like environmental crap and diseases and all the stuff we already see happening. It's just gonna intensify and it'll wipe us all out.
I'm a sci-fi dork. I think it's going to be some kind of testing, some kind of experimenting that human beings do because they think they know better. So,
Mhm.
maybe a disease in a lab, maybe a. I just saw the other day sending the scientists are sending
Lizards?
I think it was jellyfish into
Oh,
space.
I saw the lizard one.
Jellyfish, or was it? I think it was jellyfish into space, and I was like, "That's it. It's human extinction time." I said that before I even saw this question. It could have been starfish.
The lizard thing was funny because I think they lost control over whatever satellite type thing the lizards were on. So it was just like lizards doing it, hurling in space.
Oh boy.
And that really made me laugh, but also sad for the lizards. But if you're going to be lost in space, at least you can do it.
Lizards hurling in space is a great sci-fi flick name, and it should be lizards vomiting. It'd be
I
awesome.
love lizards hurling in space. Hurtling
Oh, I thought you
through
said
space.
hurling. Am
Hurtling.
I too sensitive? I'm gonna read.
Um,
I'm
if you're
gonna.
asking the question, then yes.
That's what I said. Check this one out. My boyfriend sent me a meme saying, "If she can push the stroller, she can push a lawnmower. Take a weekend off, kings. Saturdays for the boys." I really didn't like that he sent it to me. It felt like not a nice thing to send to your girlfriend since we are thinking about having kids together. I told him I didn't like it, and he told me it was just a joke, and I'm wrong for not laughing at it. Laughing it off and finding it funny. Anytime he makes a joke like that, he says I'm too sensitive and I need to learn to take a joke. This meme led us to break up because the reoccurring argument over 5 years of dating that sometimes he makes insensitive jokes and jokes that don't make me feel good sometimes. I tell him I don't like it, and then he gets mad at me for not laughing at it, and he says our personalities are too different if I can't find a meme like that as funny. What do you think?
Oh, honey, sweet honey, you were just given a gift. Time to move on. For real. This is a small form of narcissism, but also a little bit of gaslighting. He is telling you what to think and what to feel. And when you express that that is not how you think and feel, he is then telling you that you're wrong for that. So he's not validating your experience. He's invalidating your feelings and your experience, and he's not being understanding, and he's treating you like complete crap. And if you tell someone, this is how I feel about a situation, they don't get to tell you, no, you don't, or no, you shouldn't, or no, you're not too sensitive. You feel the way you feel. Sometimes, that's just the way that it goes. And he sounds like a jerk face who is not a very emotionally intelligent person. And you don't deserve that, girl. Get yourself someone better.
That was good.
Just saying.
That was really good. I can also say, there are times that guys will crack jokes that will make a person not laugh, and they think they're being funny, and it's funny to them because sometimes people just have different senses of humor. This just sounds stupid. This isn't fun. It's not a funny one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm as somebody, Mia, you and I have known each other for years, and you and I both have done comedy stuff, and
Mhm.
and you know. I'm one that will push the boundaries of even what's socially funny sometimes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And I'm not saying like inappropriate necessarily, but maybe inappropriate in certain crowds. If I'm telling a sexually explicit joke, clearly I'm not going to tell something
Yeah.
like that at
Yeah.
work because that's going to get me in trouble. But if I'm like with if I'm somebody I'm dating and we both have a similar sense of humor, and I could say dirty stuff to you, Mia, because I've known you forever, and you'll probably laugh at it, or you'll just tell me that's dumb. You know what
What
I
you
mean?
don't know is I've been offended for years. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and so
Delightfully so.
I think there are situations where there are people that don't have a sense of humor or a very good one, or maybe
It's true.
they have a different cultural perspective or upbringing, and they just don't find things funny because they're very serious, and that's how they were brought up. And
Yeah.
and if you're brought up by my father, you're gonna have a lot of comedy in the gutter, a lot of you're gonna think a lot of things
My
are funny,
my
and
parents too. Both of them very funny. My dad hilarious, man.
And and there are going to be cases where somebody that's like that will date somebody and say jokes and that person not get it or not find it funny. And that's a case of two people that maybe just personalities don't mesh. This
Yeah.
is an extreme case of personality. This is a person that's not funny, and and a person that's offended by that. It's like
Yeah.
just like the funny guy with the person with no sense of humor that don't belong together. I agree. These don't
Yeah.
people don't belong together. This person needs to find somebody who is sweet to them, because it sounds like she doesn't appreciate people
Yeah.
that aren't sweet.
Maybe she has a great sense of humor, but if you tell someone I don't find this kind of stuff funny, it's like it's the lack of communication, because all he has to do is go, "Oh, okay, I'll save those memes for my guy friends who do find this crap funny, and to you, I won't send them to you." But he shouldn't say you're too sensitive or if you don't understand this, blah 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 blah. People are not going to be like you. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not going to date someone that's identical to you in every aspect, and if you want to make something work, you make choices about how you're going to react, how you're going to be, and you got to, like, I don't know, be kind to your partner. What kind of person are you when someone goes, "That's offensive to me," and then your response is like, "Well, you're too sensitive." That's being defensive, and
Yeah.
defensive people are ridiculous, and they should be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to offend you, and I won't send that type of stuff to you anymore."
The,
You should want to know what your part should want to please your partner. What is this dating crap? Move on, lady.
Move
You're good.
on. Yeah,
You're good.
the kind of people that I've dated, if I were to say something stupid like that, like I mean, there's a million stupid jokes that aren't even funny because they're older than dirt. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and usually if you say something stupid like that, the girls that I've dated would just turn around and say, "You're an idiot." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "What?" And half of the time I would make a dumb joke just to get that response, and it's a playful
Yeah.
thing. But that's not playful. That's just dumb. So anyway, let's
He's
move.
mean.
We've already
He's a
given
jerk face.
given Jerkface too much time. Let's move on.
Jerk face.
All right. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. My my father-in-law hates me after I ruined dinner. Help. Asking for a friend. Okay,
What's the context?
I'm reading it for you right now. This might be my favorite one today. Okay. I'm age 30, female. So just to give you a little something to relate to, Mia, and y'all at home, and
Excuse me. That is okay. Continue.
you just said your age. I'm not if that's is the,
I'm allowed to say it. Other people, however, are not allowed to say it.
I'm just trying to say that the audience that we have right now, the demographic we're dealing with, it could probably relate to this kind of a situation. This is not a little old lady or a 16-year-old that's writing in. So you can imagine what it would be like to be in this person's shoes. That's all I'm saying.
Continue.
All right.
Continue.
I, 30-year-old female, was invited to my in-laws for dinner. My father-in-law, age 67, has been talking up a special baked stuffed shrimp dish for weeks. At the dinner, while he was cooking, I was trying to be helpful and clean up. While cleaning up, I came across the empty package of the shrimp that he was currently cooking. It said wild caught, which is great. Wild caught shrimp. Then I kept reading and it said bait, not for human consumption. I was shocked. I thought it was an innocent mistake. Maybe he grabbed the wrong package from the freezer. I told him about how this was a bait shrimp, and he had a warning that people shouldn't eat it. There were other people in the kitchen at the time. My father-in-law turned red and quickly explained how it's fine. It's all the same. It's wild caught, and he's eaten it tons of times and stuff like that. Everyone was shocked and appalled, including his wife. I'm pregnant. I can't be eating sketchy seafood. No one wanted to eat his food. And his wife, my mother-in-law, made him throw it out after he said he would eat it to prove it was fine. We all went out to eat at a restaurant instead. He went out of his way to not talk to me that night. I heard him complaining about me, saying I was just a picky eater, and ruined his dinner to his son-in-law, who agreed with him, probably to stay on his good side. How do I fix this relationship? Holy
Oh,
smokes!
Jesus.
Cooking bait for the family. You're not supposed to cook bait for the fam. What the hell?
Again, I mean, this father-in-law, you know, is he has some emotionally not so intelligent issues. If someone calls me out on something like that, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna make jokes out of it. I'm gonna be like, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I didn't even see that." I'm like the first person
No,
to admit that I did something stupid and make
he
fun of myself for it, but he got offended,
he
and
didn't
so it
he.
did not go well.
This was intentional though. He was like, "Oh, it's bait, but it's shrimp. It's like if I caught it out of the water. It's just fresh shrimp. It doesn't matter if it says bait only. I'm going to cook it. It's going to be fine. I've eaten it a bunch of times. It's delicious. He's had it before and believes it's okay." And so she just
But do you know that he's not just saying that? Maybe he has made this a bunch of times, but he never read the bag. Like he actually might not know
that
this whole time that, you know, do we know that? Do you know that he wasn't just making that crap up to try to save face?
uh it, he's my father-in-law turned red quickly and explained how it's fine. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same. It's wild caught, and he's eaten it tons of times.
It sounds like he was just saying all those things
Maybe,
to be like,
maybe,
oh,
maybe he's 67. Maybe he had a senior moment and grabbed the wrong bag, or just didn't read the fine print. Maybe, possibly,
I don't
or
know.
maybe he thinks it's just. Maybe he's old school. He's like it's shrimp
Food is food.
food. I mean, yeah, fish that comes out of the water is a fish. You know.
Man, okay, the question is though, how do you repair this relationship?
Yes.
Um,
She called him out in the kitchen. She thought it was a mistake, so she didn't go. Hey, she didn't go whisper to him. She just said it 'cause she thought it was a mistake, and there was other people. Unfortunately, there was witnesses, and it turned into a
yeah.
big stink. So, um, yeah,
If I were her, she said she's pregnant, I would say, you know, for me as a pregnant person, it seemed like it wouldn't be, you know, okay for me to eat. And I'm sorry if I offended your cooking, but all she can do is apologize and hope that he accepts it and moves on,
yeah.
you know?
That's. I mean, that's all she could. I would just tell him, look, hey, I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I I've got to watch it. You
Watch
know,
what I'm,
I gotta watch
eating.
what I
Be
eat
safe.
because of my baby. Uh,
Pull a grandchild card. You're
yeah.
carrying your grandchild.
Yeah. Wow. It almost sounded like Owen Wilson. Um. Yeah. That's funny. That's gross. It just sounds. It sounds like something that they might be laughing about later. She just got to play it cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If this
Hopefully.
person has a sense of humor.
Uh.
Some people do not,
That's
cannot
true.
make jokes out of situations. They
If you
get upset.
if you're the young lady from the last one, you're not gonna think that's funny. Um.
Maybe that's the type of stuff she does find funny. She just doesn't find stupid, offensive jokes from her dumb boyfriend funny.
That's probably it. And maybe
You might find the shrimp incident hilarious.
they might be laughing about it later. You know what I mean? And
I hope so. I hope it can get to that place, but I don't know this father-in-law. Some people are serious people.
that's true. And you know what I would do? More than anything, I would check in with her. And quit worrying about your father-in-law. Worry about your spouse. You know, and
Yeah.
make sure they're okay, and talk to them about it, and get their advice. Hey, he's been your dad your whole life. What should I do? He'll probably tell you. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I would
And
do.
some dads are just like stern, serious people and oops.
Yeah. Meh.
Meh.
People need to chill out. You know. Let's see what else we got. Wife is having an emotional affair. What do I do? This one is, I thought it was just an emotional affair, and then it got real serious. Because I don't know if hard to see. Where are you? There it is. Okay. I discovered that my wife, 69. Oh, he's 69, and his wife's 62. Wife of many years is having an online affair with several men, which is crazy. And but they're like emotional affairs. So sometimes that could
Yeah.
be worse if somebody's investing their emotions with in a
Yeah, for sure.
relationship with somebody else, and like you're like, I'm with this person, but I can't wait to go talk to this other person. That's really really crappy. But what it got interesting is doing research on the main man uh, and his Facebook page. I have found many instances and flat out lies. He also conned money from her on several occasions, having her buy $100 Apple gift card, which he takes pictures of and sends via Messenger.
Oh my gosh.
I just saw in her Amazon account another $200. Now, what this is a catfishing scam. This
Oh
poor
yeah, this woman is getting catfished AF.
and there's little I've seen specials and stuff where there's little kids sitting in internet cafes that are just talking to people, and I've gotten messages too, and there's like, I mean, it sometimes it's a 14-year-old that's sitting there having a romantic conversation with you, that English is a second language, but he manages to con you.
Oh
They're like,
yeah.
it's insane. And this poor lady who's in her 60s is sitting there falling in love with some catfisher, and it might not be a little kid. It might be some, I don't know. Might be some guy named Steve from Chicago. I don't know, but it's somebody online that's having her send gift cards. So guys, don't ever send anybody gift cards via
Has he
Messenger.
confronted her?
She's totally lost her heart to this person, even with him repeatedly asking for money. My wife has been a wonderful wife, mother, grandmother, totally lost, but it's insane. I
Oh,
could
this
talk
is
to her for a long
sad.
time. This is sad. This is a situation. Frankly, I am devastated. I've not told anyone about anyone out of love and respect for my wife. Also, the kids would never understand this.
Yeah.
I'm also full of anger, having trouble breathing. Yeah, this is rough, dude. And this is
I mean, this is going to be a hard one to work through, but definitely she needs to be confronted. And then she also needs to, what he needs to understand is that once she realizes it's a scam, once he exposes this to her and she's able to see that she was, catfished and screwed out of money, she's probably going to still need to grieve because to her it's still very real. And like if this is going to marriage is going to work, she needs to acknowledge his feelings about it, but like he also needs to realize that just because the jig is up, she's not going to instantly go, oh, darn it. Oh, I'm angry that he catfished. No, she's going to maybe go through the full gamut of grieving to get over it. And it's going to be hard for them, both of them, for a long time.
Yeah, this is rough. And,
They need therapy.
yeah, that's probably what you're going to have to do. Need therapy, and don't be holding it over her head. Yeah, oh, yeah, like that time you got conned out of money, blah, 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 like
Yeah.
old fighting couple. Don't do that. You need to talk about this stuff. Oh, that's a rough one, man, because that goes straight to the feelers.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's funny.
What is it?
How to communicate to my father, the 27-year-old girl, to her 56-year-old father, that he acts gross in public. Okay,
Ooh, gross how?
I'm going to tell you. My father tends to act extremely gross in public sometimes. My younger sister, who's 14, shared with me today that our dad was scratching his balls almost nonstop while they were at a bookstore. They were... While they were at a bookstore, there were other young children around too, and other people in general giving him disgusted looks. Everyone noticed.
Oh no.
You need to call him out.
It's time to be like, Dad, are your balls okay? Because you are scratching them a lot in public.
Yeah.
Do you need some powder?
Give him some Gold Bond.
Do you need something? What's doctor's appointment? Can I make you a doctor's appointment?
Jock itch spray. If anything,
he needs to be called out. It's hard. It's not, with your parents, but like, you gotta say something.
I feel like people get weird and gross and isolated in their own world, and they forget there's other. The further you go along on your own adventure,
Yeah.
I think the more people forget that other people can see them. I see people picking their nose in the car all the time. I'm like,
oh yeah,
dude, I can see you. It's hilarious.
Yeah, someone needs to call dad out. If there's a mom around, maybe tell mom to call dad out.
Yeah, and I think as daughters, you have the ability to make fun of him a little bit, and he'll get over it. you
No, we
know,
have a comment.
oh, my dad used to always flirt with cashiers and servers. He was terrible at it. He was so embarrassing.
Oh, that's awful.
My
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and that's
Oh,
men.
that's totes cringe. That's super cringe.
Mm-mm.
Is it cringe when I say cringe?
I cringed.
my
I
dad
cringed from the inside.
my dad used to just make joke nonstop with people in public, so he would do that. But yeah, I never noticed him scratching his nether regions in public.
Mm.
That's not good.
I mean, there are times that you are like in the grocery store and like you're like, oh my God, my butthole itches so bad. And you don't know what to do about it, but you just kind of gotta suck it up
I
till
just
you can.
I just pick up a magazine and then kind of lean against an end cap, kind of like a bear scratches its back. It's really easy. I'll show you, Mia. Um,
I know, I'm good. Thank you.
Speaking of mental health, now guys, it's no longer Mental Health Month like it was in May, but we still got the number up here. If you're having a hard time, if there's no shame in getting therapy. There's like we discussed on a couple of these questions. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody, and it's good to do
Yeah.
that. If it's real
And
serious,
check in on your friends that are having a hard time.
that too. And if you got a friend who's having a hard time, give them this number. If you're having a hard time, call this number. If you don't think it's a super emergency, still call this number and tell them, hey, things are getting rough. I need to talk to somebody. I'm sure that they will pass you along, refer you to somebody else. So don't be embarrassed and don't hesitate. So it's time for our game, Mia.
Okay.
So
Wait, I gotta get out my phone here.
I didn't even write any down. I had a.
I didn't. I just brought up some.
Okay, I had a feeling, or I was gonna really sit down and think of a bunch and just go to town, but I'm not. The game today, guys. Movie title letter change game. Basically, you get to change one letter. You can remove the letter or add a letter.
Add a letter, but you
Yeah.
can only change one.
You can only change one. So,
I just have a list of the like top 100 watched films like of all time, the highest grossing films, and I figured I'd just pick some and try to come up with one.
yeah. For instance, if you're like, what are y'all talking about? Like Raiders of the Lost Art?
Instead of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you got?
Toy Story. Do Toy Story. Boy Story.
Oh, Boy Story. Or Koi Story. Is that Koi spelled the same way? Koi. Oh, okay.
Toy Story. What else do you have?
Iron Pan.
Iron Pan. So yeah, the point is like you change the letter, it changes the whole story.
Iron Pan was actually a good one.
That is pretty funny. Iron Pan. Anything with man in it. Spider-Man.
Spider-Pan.
Spider-Pan. Let's see. Inside Out. Inside Pout. Inside Gout. Ew.
Rant Man.
Instead of Ant-Man.
Yeah, he just goes on rants. Is that good? I don't know.
Rant Man.
Rant.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's a buzzer. What else? Okay.
Batman is Sat Man.
Or Fat Man.
He just sits down. Fat Man. It's just an hour and a half long film about an overweight dude.
Yeah, that is insensitive. I apologize. I want to publicly apologize now for that insensitive movie concept. Fat Man.
We had some, so we played this game a little differently when we were teenagers. It would be changing not just one letter, but it would be changing a word to turn it into a porn film.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, let's play that.
Okay, so the one I always liked was Donnie Darko would be Donnie Dicko.
we said name a song. The one we did was name a movie title that describes your love life. That's the game that we used to play. And so we would say,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, or Deep Impact was a good one.
Ooh. I like there'll be something posted that'll say like the last thing you watched, that's who's gonna deliver your baby. Or the last thing you watched, that's who you're gonna fight a zombie apocalypse with. So, all right, let's just pretend that I'm knocked up. What is the last thing you watched? Last show or movie you watched?
Loki,
Loki.
the Disney
I don't know what
series
that.
Loki.
I don't know what that is.
That's the
Would that
god.
would they
That's a
be
god
good or
of
bad? Good or bad at delivering my baby?
probably really good. He's like a magician. He can make him disappear. He's like a god of mischief.
Make what disappear?
The
My baby?
baby.
My cervix?
Well, all of the above.
The last
Stretch.
thing I watched is I'm Sorry, Andrea Savage's show, which is so funny. I don't think that would be a good person to deliver my baby.
Yeah, if that's what they said, you're like, it's a boy. I'm sorry.
That show is so funny if you have not watched it. Watch
What
it.
what is the show?
I'm Sorry, the comedian Andrea Savage.
I
It
have
is
not seen that.
not a lot of funny things don't make me actually laugh out loud. I crack up at that show. The
How-
jokes are very right on brand, and I've had not to toot my own horn. No, I've had a couple of people tell me that I remind them of Andrea Savage in my delivery of jokes and comedy style. That's a huge compliment because she's like my freaking comedy queen. I love her.
Andrew Savage. I'll have to go check her out.
She's so fantastic. Okay, back to movies. Back to movies.
Yeah, there's like Big Trouble in Little China. They it's like a
Is
I don't
that
know,
your
like a porn name. Like what would be the name of your porn
Ooh,
if you were
okay.
if you did a porn? It was Deep Impact. There was
Deep Impact?
that one's hilarious.
The
Um,
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
The Lion King.
Inner Space.
Inner Space. Uh,
Three
we
Amigos.
were really prepared for this.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Black Panther.
Yeah, we weren't very prepared for this one.
And I'm proving I'm not actually funny at all.
Well, I don't think I could get better than Honey, I Shrunk the Peanut. No, that's not it.
Honey, I Shrunk the... Is there not a penis name that rhymes with kids?
I don't know, but my buddy made a comic that said, "Honey, I shrunk the kids. Just kidding, the kids are fine, but I don't love you anymore."
Oh, that's a really sweet way to deliver that message.
I know, I love it. Well, let's see. Well, we are 4 minutes over, so we're saved by the bell. Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
cool.
We did a lot of questions today, so this was just a quick one. It was just an easy and quick thing to throw on, and yeah.
Yeah. What should I go eat?
What should Thai food to remind you of the old days, the good old days?
Oh, yeah. I guess I'll do that. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't eat Thai food.
Why?
My doctor told me I can't. He told me I can't have anything with fat in it.
Can you have fresh caught shrimp?
I don't think I'm gonna eat fresh caught shrimp for a while.
All right. Well, we've got 5 listeners. We just moved up. As soon as we did the bad comedy, we got 1 more listener. This is fantastic.
Let's keep them going. Give me some more
going.
movie titles. I'll change the letters. Airplane, Hairplane, nailed it. Pulp Fiction.
Gulp Fiction.
Gulp Fiction. Ooh, you changed 1 letter and turned it to a porn name. Hell yeah. Let's see. Pan's Labyrinth. Dan's Labyrinth. A lot of weird things happen in a Dan. Dr. Zhivago. I don't know, that one might be hard. I'm just going down this list. All right. Well,
Cash Gordon. That's a pimp. You
close
just go,
encounter. Close encounters of the third kind. Self-explanatory. Don't need to change a thing. Anal probing. All right.
anal
Anyway,
probing, is that on the top 10 list of movie list?
that is my favorite. It's the only movie on my list ever.
We lost both of those rounds of that game, but
Dang it.
we'll have
Who's
a better.
who's the new watcher,
I don't know.
listener? Hi,
I don't know.
welcome to the end
We
of
got
our
5.
show.
It's
I
probably
like you all. It's probably your mom.
my mom, just in time for anal probing.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
It's probably my mom, if I'm being honest. Hi, mom.
Awesome.
Um.
Well, cool.
All right, guys.
Well, it looks like we're done.
We are done.
Guys, if you didn't hear us earlier in the show, like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we will let you know about future live streams. If you didn't notice, we started streaming like an hour early just to let you guys know about it. That way, if you're driving back from HEB and you're like, oh look, I got a notification. I better quickly go home. I don't want to stop at Walgreens because I got to catch the show. It's just meant to let you know. That was a pretty in detailed story.
Only in that specific scenario, though. If you're anywhere else, don't even.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right.
Thanks,
bye.
Tess. Bye, guys. We'll see y'all later.
No.